run game was huge this weekend.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty good. How much does that change things for you when you're trying to pass? And how much does that?
Oh, that helps out a lot. You know, you know, especially when you only have 5 to 5.5 guys, the guys that are half players in the box, like you need to run the ball, because if not, you have that many people dropping out into space and covering routes. So especially the run game is a crucial part. You know, if you remember the Marshall game, like our running game was working tremendously well, which, you know, Gino threw for a lot of yards because that people were so indecisive of whether do they play the run or do they play the pass. So, you know, obviously having the run game back helped us out a lot this past week.
Did you see that against Oklahoma? Did you see it as the game went on that they were really committed to getting up there and trying to stop Tavon, which opened things up for Gino?
Well, they had it was kind of like pick your poison, because we had them in a bind of where they either had to commit to stopping Tavon and leave Stedman one-on-one, or they had to play Stedman and leave the Tavon, you know, being able to hand off to him and give him, you know, bigger holes. But you know, I thought we had a very good game plan going in, especially with the personnel, because that's a very talented defense, and we knew that, you know, throwing the ball was going to be tough, and that the spaces were going to be pretty tight to get the ball, and it was good to just, you know, put a whole nother spin and put Tavon in the backfield.
Confidence-wise, what's that do for these guys when they're able to go out and see that it's working and have a game like that, especially against Oklahoma?
A lot, you know, especially, you know, how I always talk about it's about rhythm with our offense, and you could tell as the game went on and our rhythm and our confidence gained, you know, and we started putting together our normal drives where, you know, we had one drive that was like 16 plays, and then we come out there and we do a two-play drive, which, you know, obviously the confidence gets to them, you know, and the more rhythm we get, the more confidence we have.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, see.
Jake, do you coach Gino differently when you get in the red zone? Or how is
it's an entire philosophy. When we enter the red zone, we do more of an emphasis on just positive plays. You know, always moving forward, never take a, you know, I guess you can say we become a little more conservative, you know, because we're in field goal range, and the main thing is always moving forward, never take negative plays or ever move backwards. No penalties too.
How would you assess that so far this year? I know they're kind of skewed because you've had to, like, scores have gotten away, you've had to go, I guess. But
yeah.
On the whole, if all things were equal.
I thought we've done an average job at it. You know, there's been games where, you know, we've done a tremendous job at scoring. You know, I think the biggest stat when it comes to red zone is scoring touchdowns. You know, there's that whole stat of just scoring. You know, like saying we're 5 of 5 in the red zone that week, but like 5 of them were field goals. You know, I think the teams that are the most successful are the teams that score touchdowns.
Do you have package plays in there?
No.
A package of plays, I guess.
We try to get the tendencies of, because a lot of defensive coordinators will change their mentality at a certain yard line when you enter the red zone. It may be the 20 with one defensive coordinator, it may be the 5-yard line with the next one. So, you know, you have to have a mentality of what they change up, but, you know, the way we look at it is Dubois got you there.
He's going to burn him because he was always really good at USF for change up once he got, like, even inside 30, right? And Dana said he does the same thing now. How do they change when they get closer?
They pressure a lot when they get in there, you know, and we haven't seen that mentality yet this year. Normally a lot of defensive coordinators change their mentality around the 10-yard line. He changes his around the 25, 30-yard line where he heats you up, and I think it's where he makes you become more careless and tries to get you out of field goal range. Not very many people have been scoring points on him.
Coach Robert.
So when you say tendency, that's a tendency you look at.
Yes, that's a huge tendency we look at.
One more. When you've had something pop up, like in the past, like a Tavon game, right, where somebody does something and you know it's going to make the other team
think differently.
Rhodes said he vomited when he saw the box score, by the way.
Who did?
Rhodes.
Oh, really?
So, but, like, how do teams generally react when there's all of a sudden an X factor that was not there? That's not going to show up on the previous 3 games. Like Tavon, I understand everybody knows him, but it's different when he's behind center. Right?
I think it also comes down to what they're dealing with. You know, like sometimes you got to, you know, it's hard to change a complete philosophy during a week just for somebody else. You know, a lot of teams that we've played have never changed. You know, like Oklahoma did the same thing that they've always done. Kansas State did the same thing. Texas Tech did the same thing. You know, no one's actually changed it. Like TCU even. You know, it's just I think if they see that what we're doing is going to cause extreme problems, then I think they're going to have to scheme and do different things to stop us.
But they would do like drastic stuff.
Yes.
Thanks, Jake.
No problem.
Oklahoma manned up.